And okay, so just real quick for the audience before we go. So we're gonna count it down. We'll start the music. May or may not be too loud. I don't know. I can't really hear. But we're gonna do about a half to 2/3 of a show. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Expo for our listeners, that download our show on the website. And then I'd like to open it up for a Q&A. That's why we have the microphone down here. So if you guys have anything that you've ever wanted to ask anyone, whether it's about podcasting or not, please keep it family friendly, and you are welcome to ask us anything you'd like.
So we can't ask any questions.
What could possibly go wrong? Okay. Let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome everybody to the live 100th episode of Dangerous Kids Podcast. My name is Switch.
I'm Teo.
And I'm Tombstone.
And a little bit. Hold for applause. Okay. So that's a little bit unusual. Thank you all so much for coming out. We are live at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2012 for our 100th episode. Now a little bit later on, we are going to open up the microphone to the room. So if you guys want to do some Q&As, that would be awesome. If you guys have questions prepped or whatever. In the meantime, we wanted to talk a little bit about the show and how the show is going. But I have to kind of let our audience in on something. This isn't really our 100th episode, like it is. But for a while there, we were doing some short episodes.
Yeah, we recorded like 26 of them.
Back when we were lazy, we'd get together. So what do you want to talk about?
We got to a certain point where we kept hanging out too much. And that's actually a problem with a lot of podcasts, and I keep hearing this over and over from other podcast producers. You start hanging out, you start having conversations like at Denny's, where we all hang out on Sunday nights, and these conversations need to be recorded. They're hilarious, they flow really well, and we all sort of stare at each other, and it's like, God, I wish the mics were on right now. So we found a solution for that. We stopped talking to each other.
Yes.
We're not really friends. I haven't seen these guys in 6 months.
Well, you develop
That's
a
the truth.
series of grunts and hand gestures that get most of what you usually say to each other anyway. So
This is the one I see the most. I still haven't figured out what it means. I don't know if that means like I'm going too long or what, but anyway. So Retro Gaming Expo 2012. This is our third year at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Two years ago, we were at the Crown Plaza as media. I still haven't figured that one out. How the heck we got into that show? Chuck's a sucker, I guess. I don't know. But he let us in as media 2 years ago to the Crown Plaza for our first Portland Retro Game Expo. Mm-hmm. And then last year at the Doubletree, they figured out that I own turntables. So they asked us to come in on Sunday. They wanted me to play on Sunday. They wanted us to do a podcast then, too. But I had to have that same conversation that I explained to you all earlier with Chuck about how it's really hard for me to do a podcast when I'm busy working for you. So we ended up not doing a show last year, but we had a great time at the Doubletree. And then, of course, this year we're at the gorgeous Oregon Convention Center. The show has gotten really, really big.
Yeah.
Did you guys even have time to see all of the like the expo hall? Like,
I got distracted in the Megacade, man.
Well,
that was ridiculous.
I don't want to get
sort of a vortex that happens around the Megacade that just kind of sucks people in.
I don't want to get like too negative here, but Teo, from one big dude to another.
What?
Did you make it all the way around one lap? Like, did we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So at least we got that far. So you saw most of the booths. Maybe checked out some stuff that you maybe want to do a little shopping tomorrow, because we've got a whole other day. We're recording this. They just closed the main expo hall, and they're going to be doing an auction a little bit later. So they're not quite finished with the first day of this 2-day expo. So do you guys see anything? You want to do some shopping tomorrow? You guys want to go back and
This is the
try
first,
to catch some deals?
This is the first retro gaming expo I've been to where I've been broke. The past 2 years, I bought a ton of stuff to add in my collection, but I've been broke, and there's like a lot of stuff I want to get. Someone has a Neo Geo complete in box that I really wanted to buy. I've been looking for one.
That's not a lie. That I believe. The
They
whole
don't have the money this year.
the first time being broke thing, that's a lie. We all know that. But the Neo Geo box thing, yeah, I believe that.
So if you see Teo standing in front of a booth, wistfully staring at something, a single tear rolling down his eye,
That happened a few times.
pat him on the back, yeah, and buck up, little camper.
We'll level grind for food.
Yeah.
Okay, so specifically though, what vendors? I know the Wooden Arcade's back again this year, and they were kind of a fan favorite last year.
Yeah. I really
and-
dig what those guys do.
In fact, we drove by them on the way in this morning for setup, and they didn't know that we were racing, but I totally won. That was yeah. Anyway, so Wooden Arcade's here. Our friends from Video Game Wizards are back this year.
Indeed.
Now those guys are doing like a raffle. They're giving away. Do you guys see that prize list that they're giving away?
Yeah, I bought a couple of tickets. For sure.
I want to know when Nick is going to raffle away that Jeep.
Never.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Are you kidding me? Modern Warfare 4 is coming.
No.
He's gonna get rid of that Jeep and buy the new one. You know he will.
Well,
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Oh, okay.
No, I don't think so.
Way to back me up, guys.
Sorry.
yeah, sorry, no, I don't think it's gonna happen, man.
Lucky for you folks out in the audience, this is just as awkward as it is in studio. So,
Yeah.
okay, so, but what else? Like, what other favorites? You bought a Super Nintendo controller for the computer?
Yeah, I wanted a USB Super Nintendo controller. I'm gonna start doing some Let's Play videos, and I want the real deal instead of an Xbox 360 controller, which plays terribly.
Have you guys ever tried to use a 360 controller to play old video games?
D-pad is terrible.
By show of groans, who out there did not so much care for the D-pad on the 360 controller? The zombies are among us.
Yeah.
Let's get what we can.
Sleeper agents.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's not that it's a bad D-pad. It's just,
No, it is.
It's
Don't
not.
lie.
It's just
not.
that it is. It's not that it's a bad.
It's not really a D-pad. If you think about it, it's more of a kind of a plus-shaped disc that doesn't play video games well. Anyway, so what about you, Tombstone? You spent a little time shopping around, didn't you? You spent a fair amount of time wandering the floor. I know you weren't listening to me, so.
No, I was staring at young ladies in costumes. I don't know.
That's not new.
I
That's
find,
Par for the course.
you know, you find your entertainments where you can get them. You know.
That's what
I
he.
enjoyed the Megacade as well.
He and I clearly have different definitions of family show.
Like, what? I didn't tell you what I was thinking about.
Yeah, and you're definitely not going to. So I noticed there's actually there's been a fair amount of people that have been showing up in costume. I actually saw a really cool couple of people that showed up in matching like Link and Dark Link costumes.
Oh,
No.
nice. I missed that.
They were here way early on, and I've seen a couple of Link costumes running around the convention. But yeah, really early on, I saw there was 3 people that walked in. I can't remember if all 3 of them were costumed, but at least 2 of them were dressed as either Link or like evil Link. Does evil Link have a? Is that
Dark Link.
Dark Link.
Dark Link?
Yeah.
So I was right the first
You had it
time.
right the
Right
first
the
time,
first
dude.
time.
Don't worry about
This
it.
is what 3 years of podcasting has done to me. I'm second guessing the most mundane stuff. Like I don't even believe
Well,
myself
that's-
anymore.
That's because you know someone will bust you on it later. I mean, this is sort of, you know.
I'm comfortable with the fact that I'm gonna get torn down whether I'm right or not at this point. Like you guys just kind of yeah.
I mean, beyond mine and Teo's job of putting you down, there's also, you know, like the minutia. It's part of nerd culture that if you don't know, like, Link's middle name when he was 6 or something, I don't even know if that actually exists, but probably does, and
maybe.
someone probably knows it.
I know someone who probably knows it.
There you go.
But
Are they in this room? Maybe we can ask them.
yes, and if she wants to come up and talk to us about it later, maybe she can come up on the guest mic. But in the meantime, I haven't really had a chance to do any shopping. I did see the Video Game Wizards booth on the way in. Nintendo Age is here,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
which it was really cool to see them. There was actually a guy.
Filming a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he said he was up from Texas. Like they're
Yeah.
up from Texas just to do this.
Yeah.
And that kind of blows that really blows my mind. That lends a certain type of legitimacy
Street cred.
to, yes, street cred. On the mean streets where nerd conventions are gangs. No, bear with me on this, hang on. So if nerd conventions are gangs, having somebody come up all the way from Texas to be at the Portland Retro Game Expo lends a, like, that kicks you up a couple more notches. Like, I don't.
Well, I mean, they have big names from the industry here too, man. David Crane, Gary Kitchen, you know, a whole bunch of, you know.
Who?
David Crane, Gary Kitchen, Atari 2600. Dude, they
I'm
started
kidding. I
Activision,
know.
man.
Pitfall. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Yeah. But okay, so I know they've done actually a really good job with the speakers. Have you guys had a chance to catch any of the panels?
I saw David Crane and Gary Kitchen's panel where they were talking about Buena's Blob.
Okay.
Some interesting stories there, which I completely forgot about, but
Yeah, right on.
but yeah, it was pretty good though.
I know we had in the main hall, we actually had somebody came running over to me and slipped me a piece of paper saying that we actually had the world champion for Bubble Bobble was doing another run where he was going to max out the score on Bubble Bobble and did it, just stood there and did it in front of a crowd of people over at I can't remember the name of the company that had the booth. Strikers, yes.
Strikers.
Over at the Strikers booth, Bubble Bobble championship run, like in front of a crowd, like all the witnesses and everybody got to see it, like basically history happen right in front of them. It was kind of awesome. Like, cause how, seriously, like, this may come as a shock to most of you fine folks, but we're nerds.
Right.
And I don't know anybody that can do that. Like, I know a lot of nerds. I don't know those kind of nerds. Like, that's impressive. That's takes serious talent and skill and homework and commitment.
It's too bad we can't do a montage here where it's like someone doing like a Rocky style, hitting sides of beef, then playing Bubble Bobble, something, going for a jog. Da-da-da.
I guess he's back tomorrow. We could ask him. That totally could happen. Yeah,
That could happen. We could ask if that's part of his technique.
Okay, so you guys have some homework tomorrow because I'm going to be stuck in the DJ booth. I mean, I get the fortunate opportunity of hanging out in the DJ booth all day tomorrow. So make sure that you go find the Bubble Bobble guy and ask him if I can play some Rocky music for him before he gets ready to do another run.
Well, I'm going to be watching the Tetris finals, man. I'm stoked for that. I love competitive gaming.
Fair enough. I guess you have an
I was-
excuse. So
I was
Tombstone, since you don't have any interest in.
I'm going to be busy staring at people.
Okay. And we both know that even if I asked you to not do that, it wouldn't matter. Yeah.
What am I supposed to walk around with my eyes closed? I got these glasses for a reason, friend. Hey,
Fair enough. Okay. So the Tetris World Championships, that's going on. They had all the
Third annual.
qualifying stuff today.
Yeah, I was watching some of these cats play Tetris, and boy, can they play Tetris. It just blew my mind. I love stuff like that.
No. All right. I can play Tetris. These guys don't play Tetris.
They own Tetris.
They dominate
Yeah.
Tetris. They make Tetris cry and weep in a corner. Yeah, it's impressive some of the skills on these guys. And I mean, for a world championship, you kind of have to, like, if you're gonna, you can't pull like what's that guy's name? The guy that plays Frank on 30 Rock always wears the stupid hats. Judah Friedlander, thank you.
There you go.
I love playing to a crowd of nerds, man.
Someone's gonna.
It's almost as good as having IMDb, but I don't have to use my phone. So Judah Friedlander, he does this thing where he goes around telling everybody he's the world champion. And he can't tell anybody what he's world champion of. He's just the world champion. It doesn't matter. He's triple black belt in karate apparently with the beer gut. Like he still managed somehow, or so he says. You can't do that. You can't call something the world championships and like not take it seriously. So when we say these people can play Tetris, show up tomorrow, and you will see some people seriously play Tetris.
I wonder.
That starts at 2, I think. In
2:30.
this room.
2:30 in this room, panel room B.
I wonder how they develop these skills. Like, if these people are really good spatial thinkers, like they've got to pack a bag to go for the weekend, and they wait till like 5 minutes before they have to leave. Poof, everything's in. Perfect. And they look at a shelf and they're like,
I finally got what he was getting.
they come home and they go to other people's houses and look at their bookshelves and they're just like, terrible waste of space. Terrible. Let's so do that differently. Why, you could just take this book here. Yeah. Setting stuff up.
I can only imagine.
Go into garages, challenge accepted.
Yeah. No. I can barely load the turntable into the back of my car, and they're square. Like, it's not hard. I couldn't even hold a candle to those guys. So that's happening tomorrow at 2:30. Our good friend Porkins from PDXUR is going to be DJing for that.
Yes, he is.
So he'll be coming through tomorrow. We'll get to see him. Folks from PDXR, if you guys don't know, we do a monthly pirate party with the guys from PDXR.org, a bunch of 15th century period pirates. I'm not joking, like full on, like they spend hundreds of dollars on their period pirate costumes, swords and the whole works.
They're legit.
And they drink, this is how legit they are, they drink rum.
Yeah.
Lots of rum. Like best thing that ever happened to that bar, lots of rum. And every second Friday of the month we do a party with them. Well, one of them's a DJ. He's going to be DJing for the Tetris World Championships tomorrow, and that's what 2:30 to 5, right?
Yes, 2:30 to 5.
Okay, and there's something else that was going on, kind of around that same. This is how responsible we are with our journalism. Did any of us even bring one of the programs on stage?
No, I forgot mine.
Yeah, way to go, us. So what else, guys? Like, what other,
I'm kind of waiting for other types of pirates to come to the pirate party. Like, it's nice to have the 15th century, European, Caribbean, or whatever pirates themes. But I want to see the guys with like the Napster shirts maybe come in, or maybe a crew of Somali pirates or something, just to switch it up a bit, because there's a whole pirate spectrum that's not being represented.
Well, I steal all of my music.
Whoa.
Allegedly.
By steal, I mean I belong to a record pool where I professionally have access to. Never mind. There's the. Let me see that.
For those of you listening.
Never mind. I guess let me see that means ignore me.
Okay.
No, that's everything else. That's your lips moving.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, all right.
So there was. I know we've got like our podcast today. There's gonna be a live auction a little bit later. Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Let me
auction and after party.
Hey, quick question. Does anybody know any other expo anywhere that has an after party that's 21 plus in the main hall?
None that I've been to.
The 20,000 square feet of classic video games, retro arcade games, and beer.
Great combination.
And they're
What
letting everybody in. Oh, everybody that's of age, of course. I really wish I could be here for that. That's gonna be tonight, 9:00, and then
tomorrow you can challenge Pat the NES Punk from the punkeffect.com and Retroware TV. That was cool to see those guys here. Pat the NES Punk, he was here last year, but then they also brought in the Game Chasers, and those guys are pretty rad. I really like their show. And Rue is really good. He has this show called 16-Bit Gems, and I kind of helped Rich from A Jump Speed Shoots interview him. Rich was like, I was eavesdropping on their interview.
Dude, Rich.
It's like, I made you.
Hold on, Rich. Listen to this guy trying to take credit for all your hard work and dedication.
I was eavesdropping in on his interview, and all of a sudden I hear, and Teo over here from the Dangerous Kids podcast, he knows more about video games than me, so, and I'm like, all right, and he's like, you can ask him one question, and so I asked him a very original question, what is your all-time favorite video game? And,
Well, since you're the one that thought of that question,
Brilliant.
clearly
Yeah, it was brilliant
it's
journalism.
only an original question when you ask it. Since you're probably going to take credit for that too.
He gave me 2 games, by the way, Civilization 4 and Final Fantasy 6.
So he's buying your love, is that?
I think so.
That's how journalism works these days. They give us free stuff when we say nice things on microphones. Nobody gave me any free stuff.
And no one's buying our love.
Hint.
So, all right, so we're about half-ish way through the show. And we've got, and one other quick thing I wanted to mention, Geeklesque, they're doing some nerdy burlesque shows tonight at the Star Theater, one at 7:30, one at 11.
Yep.
And those, of course, are 21 plus. And they do a fantastic job. If you like burlesque, these guys are fantastic professionals and very good friends of ours. So make sure you check that out over at the Star Theater. In the meantime, tomorrow they are also going to be doing a cosplay contest.
Yes.
They're hosting the cosplay contest here at the Retro Game Expo. So cosplayers and cosplay fans, Tombstone, should definitely check out the cosplay contest tomorrow. And I think that's at 11.
I think it starts at 11, yes.
Let me just double check that real quick since somebody was kind enough to loan me a program. That's not 11, that's 1 o'clock. I was so
There you go,
wrong.
you're close.
I was so wrong. All right, so here's what I want to do. You guys can ask us anything you want. This is the first time we've ever actually had like an audience. And I realize this is kind of a big panel. I wasn't expecting a room this big. And frankly, I'm surprised that as many of you showed up as you did. So thank you all for coming out. Please, if you have questions, now is the time to ask. Just step up to the microphone so that we can actually hear you. And of course record you, and then we can respond to you in kind.
I'm fascinated by the fact that there's faces I don't recognize.
Step up, raise a hand, don't be shy.
Tone man.
You guys call yourselves our friends? Jesus.
I can run down
What
there
did you
and
say? I
ask
just
a
walked
question.
in. Yeah.
Half the people in this room have been on this show, and yet they won't even help us out.
And after to break the ice, I will ask what your favorite video game is.
I'm pretty sure we've already determined you can't ask that because that question belongs to Teo.
No, that's fine.
He'll allow it.
Teo's gonna let it go this time.
Modest fee.
You guys, go ahead.
Mine. Go.
Custer's Revenge. No.
I knew you were gonna go there.
I'll have to think about that one. There's a lot of games that I like for different reasons.
That really is his favorite game, or at least the
Yeah.
one he likes to reference the most on
I'm
this
working
show.
on a high definition remake.
There's a Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah. I kind of like those long sprawling RPGs. So
Yeah.
I would say, up there is probably like Morrowind or Oblivion or something like that. I like those Bethesda ones. They're pretty fun.
Mine is Final Fantasy VI.
Ocarina of Time. To this day, Ocarina of Time, I feel is the greatest game ever made. Just for so many different reasons.
It's a great use of hyperbole.
It's not the.
Yes.
I said it was my opinion. It's not the longest game ever made. It's not the most graphically intensive or impressive game ever made. But for me, in my personal gaming history, I've never connected with a game more on a personal level than I did with Ocarina of Time. So that's been my answer to that question for over a decade now, and probably will continue to be.
And then there's this guy.
Yes, you down front with the stupid beard.
I don't want to be that close to you guys. I'm going to move this right here. All right.
Your favorite game is.
For the record, it wasn't me this time. It was totally one of those guys. Yeah.
It's very distinct. It's a very distinct kind of.
Matt Hunter from A Jumps B Shoots, everybody.
Hi guys.
Also known as Meklo, who played on stage earlier today, and is
did.
Matt. You're going to be running a couple of chiptune panels tomorrow, right?
Yeah. I got a chiptune panel at noon.
No one cares.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
You
I'm kidding.
know, I've been on your show, and this always happens. You always tell me to shut up.
I'm kidding, buddy. Tomorrow at noon in which room?
This room.
In here. Okay.
Yep. And then how to make chip music on a Game Boy at 4 o'clock in this room.
Nice.
Awesome. You're kind of working hard.
I like how in the program it says Matt Hunter and friends.
It totally does.
Yeah.
Like it's a sitcom.
Like I have friends.
It's like a children's
or you're-
cartoon.
Or a funk band, possibly.
Oh,
There we go.
that's happening. And the funky friends. No, that's the cartoon. That's the spin-off cartoon.
Matt and the Family Game
I'm not
Boys.
asking my question.
Oh, wait.
Okay, scenario
Okay.
for you guys.
All right.
You have you go on the street, you find an envelope with $1,000 right outside the Retro Game Expo,
Oh,
and you walk back inside. What do you buy with it?
Shoot the hostage.
It could be 1,000 small things. It can be one large.
So in other words, you're assuming that all three of us are the kind of
Yes, I am.
are the kind of
Yes, and without
That would-
hesitation, I'm assuming you are those types of
You
people.
guys wouldn't turn that money in. It could be some grandma that's been saving up her life savings to give it to her.
Okay. On the envelope, it's written money to murder somebody with, money to hire killer in cold blood.
It's just 1,000.
Yeah,
It's 1,000.
It's bargain basement. Cheap.
Well, they were gonna hire like a 13-year-old with a baseball bat with a nail in it.
Well, hold on, hang on, hold on.
Now you're
Dude, you,
talking my
the
language.
guy, the guy dropped the envelope with the money, so clearly you get what you pay for. $1,000?
I built the whole narrative around this question.
This is
I
so.
can keep going.
We're two questions in, and it's getting so dark in here.
And instead of turning it in for evidence, I'm gonna spend this money.
At the Retro Game Expo.
I would buy a Neo Geo, and I could probably only afford one game.
Oh man.
Oof. I wouldn't use all $1,000, but I would definitely pick up a Genesis and start rebuilding some of my collection from childhood. The Genesis was my first. I had an Amiga, but then the Genesis was my first console that didn't have a keyboard built in. So, so I would start just NBA Jam, all of the Sonic games, every one of the ones for the Genesis, even the crappy Spinball, Sonic 3D. I don't care. I loved those games.
Would you go to 32X?
Did I say a 32X?
For $1,000, you could get most every Sega system and a lot of games.
But realistically, I never did have a 32X. So like, if I had that kind of scratch to blow on some retro games, man, I just might get a 32X, and a Sega CD to go with it.
That's crazy talk.
I know it's weird. I'm kind of boring like that though, man. Like there's so much like rare, awesome, like just historical stuff. Like on a recent episode, I actually described the Portland Retro Game Expo planning committee as the most, forgive my French for those in the back with the kid, the most badass historical society ever.
Supposed to use
Like
the name.
they are keeping the history and the culture of gaming from its earliest days. Seriously, like sincerely.
So, David, am I good? Did you answer the question?
Should I stay up here? I can still hear from right over there.
You're fine, Matt.
What?
Should I stand right here?
Yeah,
If
stand
you
there.
want to do a little dance or
It's
something.
really awkward to stand right here, you guys.
It is. You got this bright light shining on.
Well, we're not the ones building the whole narrative around the $1,000 envelope.
Are you now?
I get bored sometimes. And
We know.
So Frank Langella.
Look, Matt, we're trying
Coaches
to
you with
we're
the
trying to
box.
do a show here. Do you mind just?
I'm sorry for ruining your dangerous kids party.
But seriously though, man, like I would rebuild some like some childhood collection and maybe just pick up a few games that I always wanted to buy or always wanted to play, never got a chance to. I personally am not into buying the like super rare like a Neo Geo, just because I don't trust myself with it. I'm really hard on my toys. I like to play my stuff, and I wouldn't feel right buying like the last Neo Geo in a box and then like just blowing it. Like it, yeah.
I think I would buy a round of drinks for everyone in the room.
There you go. All right, stop angling. What's your answer?
No, I probably would. That pays off in dividends eventually. You get good background material, you find out.
Wait, was there a question attached to that? Because all I heard was a round of drinks for everyone.
That's a good answer.
You guys are good with that, right? You'll let Tombstone buy it?
Yeah, Tombstone, the 100 Air.
Yeah.
100 Air Playboy.
Tens of dollars to this man's name, right?
Okay, thanks guys. Love the show.
Thanks, Matt.
By the way, just quick plug, since, we joke around a lot with Matt from HSB Shoots. We do kind of consider them a sister podcast, and it's hsbshoots.com is their show. So you can calm down, you.
Yeah.
Manny, what's up, Manny?
Hey, how's it going? So before I ask my question, I have two little things. First of all, for the $1,000,
Yes.
you know that at our booth we have a graded, sealed copy of Burning Desire and Bachelorette Party, right?
Oh. I know that.
And which booth
Well, there
was
you
that,
go.
Manny?
Yeah.
That was-
Billy Gallagher.
Billy Gallagher.
That was the Billy Gallagher.
Yes, it is.
Manny,
Yeah.
I don't know why this hadn't occurred to me before, but obviously, for $1,000, I would go buy Nick's Jeep.
You'd have to pay more than $1,000.
You know what? That's my answer, Matt. I would go buy Nick's Modern Warfare 3. Dude, that's so nice. And the voice activation. He didn't let me sit in it, but he let me kind of smell it once. That was. It smelled like new car. Anyway, I'm sorry, Manny. So you were saying.
So, and then the second one, you said that the game that you most relate to as a person is Ocarina of Time, which is awesome. It's really cute.
Those things really happen to me, though. You don't understand.
In particular,
I actually
he relates to Navi.
I've seen the future, and it's bleak, man. Like,
No, I think that's kind of funny because the game I most relate to, like on a personal level, in terms of like the character
Sure.
and the story and everything, is Assassin's Creed. So I don't know what's up with you,
Ah.
or what's up with me. Like, what's wrong with my life? That I'm like, oh, this game, speaks
Well,
to me.
So you dropped $1,000.
yeah, I was gonna say, did you lose an envelope with $1,000?
You know, the funny thing is I do in my house. Now, it's a prop for a costume. But I have a big chunk of wood with a masonry nail stuck through it.
Wait, okay.
And I
So,
keep it by my bed.
I believe it.
I'm sorry. Was there a question in there?
Yeah, I haven't asked it yet.
Yeah.
But, all right, hang on, I gotta...
He's saying you own $1,000.
We're starting to get a line.
Now I do have a
We're starting to get a line behind you, so really we gotta move this thing along.
My question is,
Shh, they'll never know at home. Just
who would win?
Play along.
Who would win a fight between Master Chief and Superman and Goku?
And Goku.
I'm out.
Well, wait a minute. Does Goku have magical powers? The Superman is vulnerable to magic.
I'm going with Goku.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Master
There you go.
Chief would probably just stay out of it.
I'm gonna go with Master Chief because he makes Microsoft too much money. They won't let him die.
You Can't Kill Me, my franchise is fantastic.
That's pretty much it, man.
Immortality.
They've sold way more copies of Halo than any Dragon Ball Z game. That's yeah.
Yeah, but Final Bout's worth more than all Halo games.
That's true.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Believe it.
Cool story.
Yeah, cool story. Thank you, Manny. Make sure you guys swing by the Billy Galaxy booth. Say hi to Manny and check out some of the stuff they got there as well. Thank you. Next up, Mr. Alex Case.
Hey, dude.
Last from our past. You've been listening to the show for a while, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, long-time listener, first time on a microphone.
There you go.
I
Listen
guess
to the Rockies, you're on the air.
you had to hold us hostage in front of a room full of people to finally get on a microphone in the show. But
It's all.
what's your question, man?
So, the thought that came to mind is, if you could get any retro game remade with confidence that it would not suck, what game would you pick to have remade?
Ooh.
Final Fantasy VII.
I already gave my answer.
I would say Ocarina of Time, but didn't they remake that like 14 times already?
Again.
Like, isn't that coming out for Xbox Live later this summer? I would say Sonic the Hedgehog, but we all know what happens when they try to remake Sonic the Hedgehog. That's a bad scene.
Well, he did say they could ensure that it wouldn't suck. So then you'd see the impossible being done.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Is there anyone from Sonic Team in here?
Yeah, right.
Okay, seriously,
Yeah.
those new Sonic games are awful.
Yeah. We want to talk to you about a sponsorship deal. What the hell with you?
Yeah,
Get
right.
outta here.
There goes that. Yeah, because that was ever gonna happen. I don't know, man. Honestly, I would like to see. No, you know what? I will go back to Sonic. I would like to see an HD remake of Sonic Spinball.
Sonic Spinball.
Hell yeah, I would like. Remember back when game characters had personalities besides Mario, had personalities, and they were featured in other games besides like their standard numbered sequels, such as Sonic Spinball.
Kirby's Pinball, Kirby's Avalanche.
Yeah.
Mario has personality.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Kirby's Epic Yarn was fantastic, but not really. Like it was more of a tech demo wrapped in a Kirby package than an actual Kirby game. It was.
You also couldn't die in the game. It was really, really easy.
Fair enough.
Is that one of the things you'd improve?
Yes. Yes. If
Turn
I.
it into a roguelike or something?
What was your game that you'd have remade? Bubble Bath Babes? Was that it?
Family show, guys. Family show.
What? You didn't say anything.
It was for the Famicom, which means family computer.
For all you unfortunate folks that are seeing this show happen for the first time on stage here, this is what happens on our. I just try to keep them in check, and they just keep pushing their boundaries. It's really like a couple of 5-year-olds. They're
Yeah.
testing their boundaries constantly.
I'm hungry.
So here's what we're gonna do. And thank you all for the questions. We are apparently really low on time, even though there's nothing.
Yeah, it's almost time for the auction,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes,
There's
the
nothing
auction
else
starts
booked in
soon.
here, but it is almost time for the auction, and Chuck will have my head if anyone misses that. So,
Which you might want to see.
yeah, which that show is going to happen later. But so before we go, there's actually a couple of announcements I want to make. And are the Pig Squad guys? Come on up. The guys from the, you know who you are.
Pig Squad.
You guys.
We got Robert. We got a guy.
Hey guys, introduce yourselves real quick, just for the room.
All right, I'm Robert Wright. This is Tyler Edwards. We are right now working on the Pig Squad podcast.
You're stealing my thunder, Rob.
Oh, my apologies. You go ahead.
Introduce us, not
It's
me.
okay. Well, all I'm saying is not the Pig Squad 100th episode.
One day though.
One day.
One day, hopefully sooner than later, man. Because we're going to help these guys produce that show. The Pig Squad official podcast is going to happen, produced by Dangerous Kids, which means we are officially announcing the formation of the Dangerous Kids podcast network.
Yeah.
We're going to start producing shows. We're in talks with a couple of other shows to start producing out of our studio. And we're gonna start building and networking and branding, and we're gonna turn this thing into a beast.
Have you talked to Howard Stern yet?
The 9 of you that showed up for this live show got to see the announcement in person, and thank you all sincerely for coming out to this. But yeah, these are 2 of the 3 co-hosts for the Pig Squad podcast, and we are absolutely excited to be working with you guys and making that show happen for you. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Think about it.
A couple more quick announcements before we go. I've also been in talks with an artist. We are going to start producing original artwork on T-shirts, as well as I'm hoping we're going to be packaging some other things, but T-shirts for sure. And this artist that we've been talking with, she actually works professionally as a coloring artist. Most recently, got some contracts to produce something for Image. I think was it Image and
Yeah, I think so.
a couple other
Yeah.
like seriously legitimate comics publishers. So this chick really knows her stuff, and we've worked with her in the past, and we're excited to work with her again in the future. So be looking for that as well. We're going to sort of up our game when it comes to the Dangerous Kids store, and we'll be relaunching that coming into the new
I'm
year.
still saying, Dangerous Kids calendar might not be so bad.
Thank you, Miss, in the back.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. December has a secret.
I am so glad it's time to go. Folks, thank you so much for coming out to our live 100th episode of Dangerous Kids. Thank you. That's going to do it for this episode of the podcast, folks. My name is Switch.
I'm Teo.
And I'm Tuesday.
Keep playing games.
I'm gonna mic bomb this podcast if I have to. In all sincerity, guys, congratulations on making it to your 100th episode. Tar here's in the audience. She's the biggest fan. I do not contest her title. I'm your most loyal fan, though, guys. Congratulations.
You guys, you know what? You guys,
Chocolate pudding!
you guys should fight. That's what needs to happen. You and Tara need to just fight. Oh, wait a minute. Family show. Sorry. We're getting, yeah, okay. Thank you again, everybody, for coming out. Seriously. We really, really appreciate the love and support. We are planning some really, really big stuff for next year. And I know most of you are our friends and cohorts. Please get in touch with me if you guys want to be a part of some of the big changes that we're going to be making going into 2013. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you.
Love you, boys.
Love you, boys.